With this True Blue salute, I'm Rebel Saklocha joining you. Joining me is Ella Archer, chapter president for the Exeter-Milligan-Friend FFA chapter. Ella, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, you are obviously very involved in your school and community, and of course, FFA, but fill us in on your SAE and the work you do with that project all year long.
So my SAE is showing heifers every year at Saline County Fair. A lot of work goes in behind the scenes to show every year. You work all summer long, and me personally, I would go out in the morning and wash my animals, and then I would come back in the evening and feed them and lead them around. So it's definitely a commitment and a long process, but is definitely worth it in the end.
Most definitely. What would you say is the most valuable lesson you have learned either from your SAE or FFA in general?
From my SE, I learned a lot of patience. It's kind of hard you can't communicate with the animal, so they kind of just have to trust you and you have to trust them. I mean, it's a over 1,200 pound animal that could just trample you at any time, but they don't. So it's good to have patience and trust with your animal. But through FFA, more on the leadership side of it, I learned a lot about leading others through example and building trust with our members, knowing that they can always come and talk to me, and I'm always here for them if they need anything, was has been a really big part of what I've done.
Certainly. Well, serving as chapter president, there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. What have been some of your goals throughout this year, and what have been some of the special projects that you've worked on?
One of our goals is always to just increase high school membership and having them show up to meetings. And I think myself and my team have worked really hard this year to make meetings fun with activities and food and just getting people there so that they know what's happening in the chapter. As for activities, we just got done with our UNMC gift card drive, which we do every year. We raise gift cards for patients and families awaiting organ transplant in at UNMC in Omaha. And then our community just donates, and we take them up there one day and speak with some of the patients who have been impacted by this project. And it's always so meaningful to see what our community can do for these patients and how we can impact them.
Super powerful. Well, as you look ahead to the future, what lessons have you learned in FFA that you will carry through in your future, and what are some of your goals as you look ahead?
So, one activity that I used to do, I don't do as much anymore, was speech. Obviously, public speaking is not the most comfortable situation that you can be in, but I think it's really important for anybody. You never know when you might need to get up and speak, or it also just helps a lot with your communication and talking to people, talking to new people. And as you get older, I think that you find yourself in a lot more situations where it's necessary to, put yourself out there and maybe have those conversations that aren't as was or used to. As for me, I'm not going into an agriculture related field, unfortunately, but I do want to be an ultrasound tech. So, somewhere in the healthcare field is where I plan to be in the next 4 years.
Most definitely. Well, regardless, lots of healthcare professionals needed in rural America nonetheless. So super exciting and really refreshing, of course, to visit with someone so passionate about FFA and leadership. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Once again, that's Ella Archer, FFA president for the Exeter Milligan Friend chapter. And of course, this has been a True Blue